Hey yo, what's going on you guys? Welcome to the video for Wuthering Waves. My name is Ventus, and in this Wuthering Waves guide video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know when using Yangyang. Yangyang is an arrow unit that comes with the combat roles of Concerto Efficiency, Traction, and Resonance Liberation Regeneration. Concerto Efficiency means she has quick Concerto Energy Regeneration, Traction means she pulls targets in, and Resonance Liberation Regeneration restores the resonance energy or ultimate energy of a specific resonator on your 3-man team. Yangyang excels in fights with multiple enemies because of her kit that pulls and groups these enemies together. Dealing arrow damage to enemies increases her resonance liberation charge, so dealing damage to multiple enemies at once is the ideal combat situation for this unit. When it comes to her kit, she has two main basic attack ways of gaining melodies for her Forte circuit. The easiest is hitting enemies with her 4-hit combo, where she executes a series of slashes with a sword, ending in an upward to horizontal slash combination. The second is whenever she hits an enemy with her heavy attack Zephyr Song, which you can do by tapping normal attack after her normal heavy attack, which is a rushing stab. You can also execute heavy attack Zephyr Song after a dodge counter. When Yangyang has 3 melodies, she can activate her Forte circuit Stormy Strike after a heavy attack or a dodge counter. Stormy Strike is a skill that sends Yangyang up into the air to perform a series of rapid slashes that ends when she lands and sheathes her sword. She can do this starting from the ground after any heavy attack or dodge counter, as well as from a mid-air basic attack after a manual jump. Her resonance skill is called Zephyr Domain, where she slashes her sword and can group together smaller enemies if they are close enough and deal arrow damage. It has a 10-second cooldown and regenerates 15 Concerto energy for Yangyang. Her Resonance Liberation is a more powerful version of her skill called Wind Spirals that pulls enemies together from a slightly greater distance than her skill. You can do a sort of combo with both of these abilities to group enemies together, using her Liberation first to make sure you hit all enemies with her Resonance skill that goes next, into her heavy attack Zephyr Song, and combo that into her Forte circuit Stormy Strike to return her Resonance Liberation charge to her. Her outro skill is called Whispering Breeze, and it restores 4 resonance energy per second for 5 seconds for the next resonator that you switch to. Her intro skill, Cerulean Song, sends the attack target into the air and deals arrow damage. When it comes to weapons for Yangyang, for the longest time I was using the Commando of Conviction with the skill Unyielding, which states when the intro skill is cast, increase attack by 18.75% for 15 seconds. It made sense to me because when she switched to the on-field character, I used her only to pull groups of enemies for my main DPS to destroy, so the more damage she caused, the better. It has 2 stats for attack in the main and secondary slots. Another viable option for her would be the Overture with its skill Ceaseless Aria. When the resonance skill is cast, restores 8 Concerto energy. This is an energy regeneration sword because its secondary trait is energy regeneration. This is perhaps the best weapon for the character in terms of utility because her most useful ability is to pull enemies together for your main DPS. The weapon that I currently have her with, however, is the Emerald of Genesis because of the crit rate stat attached to it. It has Stormy Resolution as its skill, which increases energy regeneration by 12%. It also increases attack by 6% when the resonance skill is cast, and this can stack twice with the effect lasting for 10 seconds. For her echo stats, crit rate and energy regeneration seem to be the ones to be on the lookout for, especially since getting a crit rate weapon is rare. Other stats would be the usual resonance skill, resonance liberation, basic attack, and heavy attack. When it comes to sets, I have 3 sets that you can try. One is the main and most generic set for her, and that's a full 5-piece Sierra Gale, with the 2-piece set giving extra arrow damage and the 5-piece set increasing arrow damage upon using the intro skill. Here's what it looks like in action on a level 2 boss enemy.
Hear my command.
The next set is the Sierra Gale mixed with the new arrow set, Gusts of Welkin. Each set 2-piece bonus gives extra arrow damage. Now, I tested this echo set with having the Sierra Gale's 4 cost, the Phalan Burlingal Monkey in the first slot, and then again with the Welkin Gust 4 cost, Reminiscent Fleur-de-Lis in the main slot, and it just seems to me that the Gusts of Welkin 4-star gave considerably more damage, but then again, it could just be that the substats of these 4 costs played a part. In any event, of the 2 sets, it would probably be more useful just to use the full 5-piece Sierra Gale so you can get the set bonus of increased arrow damage with the intro skill. The other set that I used on Yangyang for the longest time and sort of became her set for me was a mix of the Sierra Gale and the Tide Breaking Courage with the Dragon of Dirge as the 4 cost in the main slot. I did this mainly because of the energy regeneration attached to the two-piece set, which allowed Yangyang to get her Resonance Liberation that much faster, because after all, I didn't use her as main DPS, she was just a tool for gathering enemies together for my main damage dealer. Now when it comes to the new set, it's pointless to give her a full set of the new arrow echoes because she doesn't inflict arrow erosion on enemies with any of her skills like Rover in his arrow form. When it comes to teams, she works well on pretty much every team, but it's not the team comp that you have to look at when using Yangyang, it's what enemies you're fighting. It's pointless to use her on a single enemy boss fight because her damage is not that great and she doesn't provide any damage buffs for your team, though her outro skill does grant the next resonator you switch to a 5-second energy over time effect, which can be useful. With that said, when you are fighting groups of enemies, pulling them together for main DPS like Yangyang or the new Arrow Rover quickly allows you to deal damage to multiple targets and end the wave of enemies. So for sure, Yangyang main DPS with either Verena for heals and buffs is a great team. Arrow Rover, Verena, and Yangyang is another great team, though Arrow Rover has healing, so you might be able to switch out Verena for another more powerful buffing character, such as Mortify. Another powerful team up that's safe is Phoebe with Yangyang and Verena, using Phoebe as the main DPS. The all-arrow team of Yangyang, Yangyang, and Arrow Rover is basically a wave-killing machine. If this video was helpful, I really appreciate your like on it. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments. My name is Ventus, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.